and good evening. You're watching India Tonight at 8 p.m. with me, Ruchi Bhatia, my colleague Nenta Arai, who will be joining in just a while from now. As always, we've got an action-packed 60 minutes lined up for you, and let's get started with what's happening with respect to the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoins, in fact, giving out all the 2021 gains. It's a big sell-off that is continuing for cryptocurrencies. The top token, Bitcoin, falling more than 11% to about $28,911. It is the lowest since the 27th of January, nearly erasing all the 2021 gains. The sell-off, of course, was sparked with the announcement from the Chinese central bank asking banks to crack down harder on crypto traders. The other tokens like Ethereum were also down about 10%, and significant pullbacks, of course, in the cryptocurrencies coming in. Also because the environmental concerns have become the latest flashpoints as well. In fact, despite all of this, we're seeing big concerns emanating on the crypto front. Meanwhile, global markets are treading cautiously, while Dow opened in the red, now trading almost flat. Markets took stock of the Fed's John Williams' comments as well of seeing a 7% GDP growth and jobless claims at 4.5% this year. That's, of course, the big story that we're focusing on this evening on India Tonight. Let's get our guest on board, Peter Cardillo, now joining in. Hi, Peter. Good evening. This is Ruchi Bhatia. Let me first begin by asking you on the massive crash that we've seen with respect to Bitcoins. Of course, concerns emanating on the environmental front, as well as China also coming down pretty hard on crypto traders as well. Do you think 30,000 is the level that we've seen in terms of the lowest that Bitcoins have hit, or could it be lower?
I think the market is, probably going to trend lower here. China continues to put pressure on it. And, I'm not a big fan of cryptocurrencies. And I think what's happening in the marketplace now actually recognizes the fact that the market can be easily driven either higher or lower by certain individuals. Obviously, this time it's the Chinese government. The last time when we had a very big rally in the cryptocurrency area, we had Edmund Musk of Tesla driving the market higher. So I think basically what the market is finally flashing here is that this is a very risky and speculative market. And I think that investors are going to realize that as the large swings will likely continue.
Hi, Peter. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here all the way from the United States. Before we go any further, I'd just like to bring our viewers up to date with the fact that the Bitcoin has given up the 2021 gains. What a volatile roller coaster ride it has been. The other coins, whether you talk about Ethereum, whether you talk about Dogecoin, those are also down by 15 to 25%. It doesn't help that China is publicly saying it has summoned bank officials today to ban all kind of crypto financial services. But Peter, what you're also seeing now are admirers of Bitcoin now turning out to be critics. One of the biggest ones of them turns out to be Nassim Taleb. Taleb now saying that the true value of the Bitcoin is nothing more than zero, that it provides you no safeguards whatsoever, that despite all of the fanfare that you've seen, all of that has taken place, it provides absolutely no protection either from the roller coaster ride that you're seeing. You're seeing admirers now turn into very big bears. That doesn't normally happen to such an extent with a bear market.
Well, I agree that the Bitcoin certainly doesn't merit a value of 30,000 or 50,000 or 100,000. As far as I'm concerned, it has very little value, and it's very possible that someday Bitcoin might go back down to where it started from, unless there is a change by the central banks to come up with some sort of new form of currency using the Bitcoin. I think, it's a very speculative situation. It's worthless. It certainly doesn't merit 29,000 or 28,000 value. If someone could explain to me what the Bitcoin is backed by and what it really represents, then I might change my my thinking. But we have a Bitcoin that is backed by nothing. It's not doesn't have the full fate of any government. Well, I take that back because there was a South American country, El Salvador, that uses it as their currency. But other than that, I see no reason why the Bitcoin should be selling at 29,000. And of course, I'm a critic of it, but there are other people that think that way too. So I sort of agree with the analysis that for now, Bitcoin is not worth this kind of money. And I think it's just speculation. And I think what it has done, unfortunately, taken.
What I would also like to point out to all of our viewers, and Veena Kapasi from our research team, in fact, has been working on this, and we've been figuring out where the Bitcoin features against the asset classes. I'm not sure if we have Mubina with us, but let's look from 31st December 2020 till today. You've seen Bitcoin in the negative territory. The Dow Jones is up 10%. The Nasdaq is up 9.9%. The dollar index is in the positive territory of 2.2%. Gold has given a negative 6.3% return, and crude is higher by almost 50%. So if you were to compare the cryptos against the asset classes, you're sitting in the middle of June. The others are certainly giving a much, much higher return. With that, Peter, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of India Tonight.